This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, nurses who work in general practices have gone on strike for equal pay with hospital colleagues. Motoring enthusiasts from across the south flocked to Kaitangata for the mining village's annual car show. And Oamaru's historic Criterion Hotel has reopened for business to much Victorian pomp and ceremony. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Primary care nurses walked off the job in GP clinics and medical practices around the region as part of a nationwide strike. New Zealand Nurses Organisation nurses stopped work for 24 hours in protest at their pay parity claim, with higher paid DHB nurses not having made any progress.
Drizzle at Dunedin's Queen's Gardens didn't stop these primary healthcare nurses from joining a nationwide strike yesterday. These nurses, who work in the community for GPs, or in Andrea Buxton's case, a medical centre, are objecting to being paid up to 10% less than their colleagues working in district health board hospitals.
We are worth more. We are worth the same amount as what our colleagues in the DHB are worth. We do the same work, we work hard, we work for the people, and yeah, it's really important that we are recognised for this, for the hard work and the stress that we actually, you know, the responsibility that we actually have behind us.
It's not the first time this year they've been on strike, with a feeling that both the government and DHBs are fobbing them off.
The DHBs and the government have not responded at all, so kia ora!
Newly elected MP for Tairi, Ingrid Leary, suggests one of the reasons there is a difference in pay between hospital and non-hospital nurses is because it's a feminine-dominated workforce, and she says her government is looking into it.
A lot of the times that we get these pay disparities or these issues within sectors, it's around the feminised sectors, and that's a concern. It's something that Labor has been very actively looking at, so we've had a really good collective agreement last year or this year with the NZEI, the early childhood teachers. Now it's time to look more broadly across the feminised sectors, and nursing is the next one.
Meanwhile, a notice has been served to employers of another one-day strike near the end of this month. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Queenstown played host to the launch of a new gaming console in spectacular fashion, with an event live streamed all over the world last night. The event came after last week's construction of a mysterious cube by scaffolders on Queenstown's waterfront. Then at 11 o'clock last night, New Zealanders were some of the first in the world to usher in the Xbox Series X and S, with the company transforming Queenstown into Greenstown. The show included a computer-generated version of Queenstown as the home of adventure, broadcast on Twitch, YouTube and Facebook gaming. The regional launch was the first in the world, and more are set to follow in other regions. The air around the Kaitangata Crescent Rugby Club grounds throbbed to the sound of V8s early on Saturday morning. A record number of exotic and not-so-ordinary cars came from all over the South Island to join in the 9th annual Kai Car Show and Run.
It's all about showing up and shining on. About 500 people with 300 to 400 cars parked up and packed out at the Crescent Rugby Club grounds on Saturday.
Days like this depend on, especially raising money like we do, it always depends on a good day, so we're very lucky that we've always been well supported, so even on a bad day we've had close to 300 cars, so yeah.
Organising committee member Grant Robson says it started out as a beautiful day and they were very lucky with the weather, as they had been concerned earlier in the week when rain was forecast.
Beautiful day. We're expecting rain about 2 o'clock today, but it's going to hold off by the look of it down the hills there, so very lucky.
In amongst the lovingly restored Aussie or American metal on show was also a bevy of exotics from Europe and England. all lovingly restored or converted into impressive hot rods.
I think it's just, well, first of all, it's just the old cars, and then it's given to charities. And Kai has always been a really big place on cars, car lovers from Kai, so, and Clutha and all the adjoining communities.
As well as being an event for car lovers, Robson says it's also a charity event, with entrants contributing all the way from Blenheim in the north to Invercargill in the south. He says Dunedin enthusiasts have supported the event very well this year. In Kaitangata, the South Today.
Dunedin police are seeking information about a man wearing blue clothing and driving a silver Ford car who was behaving suspiciously in Buskin Road in Highcliffe yesterday. Sergeant Ian Paulin of Dunedin says a woman returned home at 4:50 p.m. yesterday and found the car parked by her front door. The driver told the woman he was looking for scrap metal. She then asked him to leave. About an hour later, the woman realised some fishing equipment was missing from her home. The car was also seen at her neighbour's house. Anyone with any information who saw someone acting suspiciously in the area is encouraged to contact the police or Crime Stoppers. A year after it closed, Oamaru's flagship heritage building has finally reopened. Punters decked out in Victorian-era attire gathered at the Criterion Hotel yesterday for its first day of trading under new lessees Herbert and Maurice Martin.
We are really excited to return this wonderful building, to the community. That's what it means.
Marcy Martin couldn't contain her happiness as the doors to Oamaru's historic Criterion Hotel reopened yesterday. Martin and her husband Herbert are the new lessees of the 153-year-old establishment, which closed last year. She says the relaunch is a culmination of consideration and sensitive action to return the building back to the community.
Being part of the historic precinct is important to us. A lot of our friends are involved here, but it actually just captures all of our interests, hospitality and heritage in one package. So we're absolutely delighted to serve the people of Oamaru and beyond.
Sitting in the heart of the town's historic precinct, the historic hotel is often referred to as the area's flagship building. The couple in the Oamaru Whitestone Civic Trust, which owns the building, spent hours working to return the bar, restaurant and 6 bedrooms to their Victorian roots.
I think both Herbert and I have been actively involved for, goodness me, a very long time, and we just love this place, and it made us feel very sad indeed to see the doors shut for such a long time.
Martin says the hotel encapsulates both their love of hospitality and heritage. And with the help of North Otago businesses, the couple have created a traditional style menu.
We have stuck very much to a traditional English-style menu, which for most people will simply mean comfort food. And these days, perhaps the comfort food that we're offering isn't so much what people do at home any longer.
Oamaru Whitestone Civic Trust Chairman Graham Clark says it has been a tough few years for the hotel, so the reopening was a momentous occasion. In Oamaru, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. A new rooftop apartment has appeared overlooking Dunedin's Queen's Gardens.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, Campbell's Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these merino pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Allied Press and the Otago Daily Times are an integral part of business in Otago and the South, and these awards are really our opportunity to celebrate and amplify what goes on in this part of the world and the successes that we have.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. Former New Zealand International Film Festival director Bill Gosden died peacefully over the weekend, days before his 67th birthday. Born and raised in Dunedin, Gosden attended the University of Otago and wrote film reviews for The Critic. This sparked a passion for film, which encouraged him to develop and direct the film festival for 40 years. Gosden was diagnosed with bowel cancer in 2017 and retired last year because of his health. In a Facebook post from Bowel Cancer New Zealand, Gosden said he wished he had been able to get a colonoscopy earlier. Gosden's family and close friends have asked for privacy while they come to terms with their loss. A new rooftop apartment has appeared on top of one of the buildings overlooking Dunedin's Queen's Gardens. The new addition is set to become the home of local couple Ted and Ita Daniels.
Heritage building enthusiasts Ted and Ita Daniels have almost completed their stylish rooftop living space on top of Dunedin's historic Stanton building. The apartment's distinctive roof shape was inspired by a project their daughter did for her interior design course at Polytech.
She came up with a playful take on the sawtooth roofs that are seen around Dunedin, and that was really the start of it. We weren't really thinking about building at that time, but here we are.
Overlooking the Queen's Gardens, the project has taken more than 5 years, but Ted Daniels believes the resultant aesthetic has been worth it.
So at the end, if you persevere with it, you will end up with something you can be happy with.
Yeah.
So and hopefully other people can enjoy seeing it. It's like creating a piece of artwork. It could be like a painting or a sculpture. So.
Built in 1907, the tall two-storey building used to be the Bank of New Zealand for many years, until it fell into disrepair about 20 years ago.
In, I think, 1999, I think the BNZ moved out and the building stood empty for more than 10 years. So, and the pigeons took over the building. Yeah, so and water was slowly getting right through the building. So we probably just got it in time before it was ready for the demolition.
With many modern touches and polished concrete floors, they've created a home with arguably the best views of Dunedin's skyline and harbour.
It's awesome. I really have no words for it yet, and it's also reality still sinking in, because every time we spent our weekends here, it's like this is not ours. We're just on holiday somewhere. So, yeah, it still takes a bit of getting used to.
The couple are planning to properly move into their new apartment by Christmas. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, a new memorial is set to be installed in Dunedin early next year, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The business community is very important to the Otago region, and Forsyth Vale, we've been in business for over 80 years, so we feel strongly about growth in the region, and we're therefore pleased to be associated with the Westpac Otago Business Awards. Forsyth Vale's business falls within this category, and it's even an appropriate fit for us to sponsor this category and celebrate business success with the award nominees.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Hi, Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these merino pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. And check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. A long-awaited memorial to commemorate pacifist Archibald Baxter is set to be installed in Dunedin early next year. The Archibald Baxter Memorial Trust says a contract is about to be signed with a firm for the work, which was expected to start mid-January. It's hoped the work will be finished by the end of March. The Memorial Park at the intersection of George and Albany Streets is to highlight the plight of conscientious objectors and invite people to consider peace as an alternative to conflict. Archibald Baxter was born in Dunedin. During World War I, he was subjected to relentless physical abuse and mental intimidation for being a pacifist, but held firm to his beliefs. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Nurses who work in general practices have gone on strike for equal pay, with hospital colleagues receiving support from passing motorists. Motoring enthusiasts from across the south flock to Kaitangara for the Mining Village's annual car show, which is a highlight on the motoring calendar. And Oamaru's historic Criterion Hotel has reopened for business to much Victorian pomp and ceremony, with fine ales and even finer frocks. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Some good news for Otago Polytechnic, which I'm sure they'll be delighted given the year they've had. Domestic enrolments for next year are up 49% on the previous year. They were looking at something like a $13 million hole in their budget for next year because of a lack of international students, of course, with COVID-19. But this is kind of helping them out, certainly at the moment. A lot of people, I guess, looking for career changes on the back of COVID as well, so seeing the Polytech and tertiary study as an option. But the government's also invested in the construction industry and training for that as well, so they've benefited from that. Lots of people with 2 years free fees, so it's been quite attractive for them and inspired a lot more people to take these courses, so positive there. Dunedin's long-awaited weather radar. Now, we've been talking about this for several years. It's finally starting to take shape. $3 million equipment's being installed in Hindon, just northwest of Dunedin. Expected to be completed by the end of this month and operational by the end of December. The 10th of its type in the country. We've kind of been the last to wait for one, really. And yeah, it's going to more accurately predict rain levels for the city. Not that we really want to know, but that's the plan. So it will help again with flooding, all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, pretty exciting. Fresh pages. We've got 3 pages of lots of wonderful recipes. Annabel Langbind has graced us again with some recipes. It's tiny but tasty food is the catchphrase. Prawn cocktails and venison tataki. Looks really delicious, but quite small, so I'd probably need several, I think.
Good for summer parties, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And sporting front, good news for Otago Spirit rugby players. We've got Amy Duplessis today been named in the Black Ferns for an upcoming internal series. They can't, of course, get away with COVID, but they're playing New Zealand Barbarian side. We've got 3 other local players, Rosie Kelly, Morgan Henderson and Kilistani Moatani, have all been named in the Barbarian side as well. So good reward for the Otago side. They've had a pretty solid season and they've been battling away for the last couple of years. So nice to see them and we wish them all the best.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, well thank you, Craig. All of that and more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, decorative paint in Dunedin's Bath Street. Looking at the situation, fine tomorrow and sunny in most places, but some cloud along the Otago coast. Cool with easterly winds, but warmer inland. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, it's sunny with 19 degrees in Greymouth and 17 degrees in Westport. To the northeast, partial cloud with 18 degrees in Nelson and 16 in Blenheim. In Canterbury, partial cloud and 13 degrees in Kaikoura, 16 degrees in Christchurch and sunshine and 16 degrees in Ashburton. To the southern towns, light winds, fine conditions and 15 degrees for the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. To the Central Lakes, light winds and fine conditions with 17 degrees in Queenstown, 19 degrees in Wanaka and Alexandra and 14 degrees in Te Anau. To the northern towns, light winds and cloud on the coast with 15 degrees in both Timaru and Oamaru. Inland it's light winds, cloud and 19 degrees for Twizel and Omarama. In Dunedin, fine tonight with an overnight low of 8. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods and some clouds, mostly low cloud, morning and night. Moderate northeast winds, a high of 14 and a low of 7. Milder on Thursday with early low cloud clearing, then fine with sunny periods and some high cloud. Moderate northeasterlies, a high of 17 and a low of 8. And in Invercargill, some cloud tonight with an overnight low of 5. Fine and mostly sunny tomorrow with light winds, a high of 15 and a low of 6. Northerly winds developing on Thursday with sunny periods and high cloud with milder temperatures, high of 18 and a low of 8. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.